Okay, so friend, I'm here in the studio. DaShawn popped into a studio room that I was working in. He's like, okay, so Shamara. I'm like, excuse me, did you just interrupt my workload? What was your question? Because I thought this would be an interesting question to bring to a larger audience, friend. So what's your question, DaShawn?
Well, my question was, are you born gay? Or is it a choice to be gay or not?
And just for the record, are you gay?
I am.
Okay. Do you think that you were born gay?
I do believe, my latest conclusion is that I do believe that I was born gay, or at least that the feelings were developed in me in my early childhood somehow. I don't know how it happened, but I just know from as far as I can remember that I was attracted to males, and it wasn't until I turned 18, and I'm only 20 now, until I came out about my sexuality. But I've always known, as far as I can remember, I've always known that I, was attracted to males. So.
Okay, so what was your earliest childhood memory about, like, okay, that's a guy, I like that guy, or what was your earliest childhood memory? Like, at what age around do you think?
Well, I would say around junior high school, probably the beginning, 6th grade, 7th grade, around that time is when I started, seeing guys as attractive. But from as early as 4 and 5 years old, people, older adults, and could see in me that, oh, well, he has feminine traits, or there's certain things about him.
Not to interrupt you, was that something that people would say to you, like, as adults would be like, oh my gosh, what's wrong with him, and make condescending comments to you at that age?
Not directly to me, but when I grew up, I heard, like, my dad told me that. Unfortunately, my dad told me that my preschool teacher pulled him aside at a certain time and told him that she thought that I was going to grow up to be gay. But I can recall having feminine traits. I was under my mom a lot,
okay.
Doing a lot of things, that she did. But the whole attraction piece didn't come until I was about late elementary school, early junior high school.
Okay,
years.
so you actually did a poll also on your Facebook page, your personal Facebook page.
Mm-hmm.
Did you get a chance to peek at any of the comments that were being made? What's your conclusion, or what are those folks' conclusion about this? If you're just tuning in, it's like, are you born gay? Is that something that you're born with? Do you know what I mean? Are you born to say, hey, in DaShawn's case, I'm a guy and I'm going to be into guys. Or in my case, I'm a woman, I'm going to be into women. Like, are you born like that? Is that something so what were folks chiming in on your Facebook and saying?
Well, a lot of religious people, because I have a lot of Christian friends. I am also Christian, so a lot of people were commenting and basically saying that, well, God is our creator. He doesn't make any mistakes, so he didn't make anybody gay. Being gay is basically a choice. And my argument was that, God doesn't make any mistakes, and I do believe that he's a creator, and I don't think that two men loving each other or two women loving each other is a bad thing, or that it is wrong. And then people will make the argument that, oh, well, there was Adam and Eve. It's supposed to be man and woman. He created male and female, but, this was before sin entered into the world. Because my thing is, why do people find it so hard to believe that people can be born gay, but they don't find it hard that people can be born retarded or born
that's
with some
not a
type
nice
of,
word, friend.
Mentally challenged or with a mental disability.
Well, can I ask you a question? Do you think that that's what make it harder was that challenging for you, since you were born in a Christian background upbringing, to kind of, I guess, so to say, come out of the closet?
Mm-hmm. Well, actually, I wasn't born in a Christian household. I actually was born in a pretty secular household. I came to Christ on my own at the age of 15. So my parents...
And by then, had already understood, hey, I'm gay?
Yeah, at that time I didn't know that I had the feelings, but at that time it was a struggle. I was fighting against it. Why? Because I thought that it was wrong. People always told me you're wrong. In the church you hear people preaching about, oh, you're going to hell, you're going to hell. But I had to come to the realization that, this is something that's in the inside of me. This is something that I feel natural. This is definitely not something that I choose. And I always try to stress to people that if it was a choice, I would in fact choose to be straight. Because being gay in this society is not an easy lifestyle.
Okay.
You know
Have
what
you
I'm
ever
saying?
been bullied?
I have not necessarily physically bullied, but I've been called names, faggots, and things like that. So
Okay. Does
but-
that? I mean, not. I mean, this sounds like a silly question. I'm sure I'm sure it does bother you. How does that make you feel? I mean, like when those things were happening to you, how did that really hit you? Because I've been called names too, but not to the extreme as oh my gosh. You know, like, but I'm naturally sensitive. Somebody calls me one single name, and I'm like, what did I do? And then I had to get thick skin about it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So how did that make you feel?
Well, when I was younger, it hurt it a lot. I used to go to my mom and talk to my mom about it, and she would tell me, you know, to ignore them, or she would tell me to, you know, things that I could say to kind of get back at them, you know, just to be honest. But I have grown out of that. I mean, I still don't like the word faggot specifically because I still have those scars on the inside, but it's just, I found out, and now that I have a better understanding that it's
See,
just
and I want
people's-
you to remember that the next time you decide to use the R word, because that's not nice either, okay?
Either, right.
Okay, so here, real quick, not to interrupt you. Friend, what are your thoughts? What are, you know, do you think that, because I know that people talk about this all the time, like, do you think that being, you know, to be born gay, that's natural? And what is your announcement or a public service announcement, so to say, DaShawn, to folks that are out there listening, maybe your age or a little younger, like, you know, still battling with that. I want to come out, but I don't know how to come out. You know, I have this person over here who definitely will make fun of me, or that person over there who definitely will not accept me, and that place right there who I've been trying to get a job at, but they only hire certain people. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, you're 20 years old. You're fairly young. I see a lot of gay people out and about in the streets now,
Right.
but there are probably still a ton of people out there that still want to say, hey, I'm not comfortable in my own skin. And I want to be comfortable in my own skin, but society won't accept me and allow me to be. So what's your public service announcement to those folks that are actually watching this?
Well, my public service announcement would just be to, first, you have to be honest with God. You know, you have to, if you're a believer of God, you have to be honest with God. Then you have to be true to yourself. Be you. You know, a lot of times we hide who we truly are just to fit in society, to fit into these different groups, to be accepted. But at the end of the day, you're not going to find happiness until you really be you. You know, and don't be afraid to be you. You know, the thing is, people just, and to other people, like, you know, heterosexuals or to homophobes, people who don't have an understanding of what homosexuality is about, I would just advise you to be more open-minded and to be more empathetic towards this group of people, because you never know why somebody is the way that they is, and you don't know their story. You don't know how hard it is for them to be what they are, and to, you know, and to go what they're going through. So be open-minded, be less judgmental and critical, because the bottom line is we're all imperfect beings and we all have our faults. I personally don't believe that homosexuality is wrong. I believe that it is natural, and I believe that there are many people that are born many types of ways, and I just feel like you should just be yourself.
Okay, you know what? With all that being said, I'm straight and I'm proud. You can kick your verse.
I'm gay and I'm proud. Thank you for listening to us.
Thanks, friend. High five.